you're funny.
Like I said. Like I said. Like I said. Do you like my tail? Like I said.
Welcome back to Iron Rage. Once again, we are here with Lee Priest. What is it, like 4 in the morning over there, Lee?
Almost, because I've got to go to Sydney today to do some of those CM's fitness videos, so I get up early today, and I noticed your message bright and early again once more at 4 a.m.
Who is Sam exactly?
He owns a company down there that sells Power Tech, Barbarian equipment, and all that gym and home gym equipment. I've known him for years, and of course I used to be sponsored by Power Tech when I was in America. When I moved back home, he just asked if I want to do some instructional videos, which I started doing. And then, of course, I just used to talk to the camera. Everyone just started writing in silly questions and stuff, so now it became more of a question and answer type thing. So people like those sort of silly videos.
Yeah, those are pretty popular. Now, I see you got a little wall of fame behind you over there. What is that all about?
Yeah, that's not really Wall of Fame. This is the Hall of Fame from NABBA, where I'm in the Hall of Fame. That's my hand there. This one up here, if I tilt it up, this one here is, I won't read through it all again like I did before, but it just pretty much says that I'm an honorary Texan and signed seal of the state of Texas, and that's signed by George Bush.
Oh, that's when George Bush was governor of the state.
This is from Illinois, home of Superman. They gave me all the rights and privileges of Metropolis. And these ones here was just a Rookie of the Year plaque. They are a picture of me and Arnold, and these were 2 from the PDI. I think they're the only 2 awards I ever have left now.
Why did you get rid of all your trophies and awards?
Because they were just sitting in a box, and fans said they would like some, so I got rid of them. Because now I get letters, and these kids showed me my awards in their home gyms, telling me how they motivate them and their friends. And because when I lived in America, they were in boxes in storage, and when I moved home, they were sitting for another 9-10 years in boxes in storage. So I said, what's the point of just having them sitting in storage? Right. So the only one I have over there is I have the People's Champ Award and a posing award from the Ironman, but everything else is pretty much gone. I might have 1 or 2. All my young trophies I got rid of them. I just took all the name plaques off the front of them. So eventually, I think I got like, God knows how many, a bag full. I might get like a big wooden plaque made and just stick all the name plates on from the contest. So.
That's smart.
And it's less the dust too. Dusting all that shit took forever. So
I threw out a lot of my stuff too. I only kept the really nice stuff. Now, you think about when you go back, in your mind, and you say to yourself, that first trophy I won was so important to me, and then later it became like, what a piece of crap that was, right?
Well, actually, it was a nice wooden one when I was 13 years old. So
did you keep that one?
I think it was still higher quality than some of the ones I got in the pro division. So
yeah.
I think I still might have it. I'll just show you my shirt today, Dave. Look at this one. No fucks given.
I like it. What's the 133 mean?
That's a date when the company started.
Oh, like 133?
133 BC.
BC. That's a pretty long time that company's been around.
I was wearing this on the Ark.
No, I was going to say Noah from the Ark probably invented that shirt.
Noah was wearing this when he was calling the animals on 2x2.
There you go. Except they probably had to make it with like sheep blood or something like that, right? They didn't have any ink back then.
Noah couldn't actually leave. The animals almost actually died because you figure by the time he built that Ark and every animal 2x2 got there, he's like, fuck, it's raining, we're flooding. The fucking kangaroos still haven't made it from Australia. They're still hopping all the fucking way over here, and little fucking koalas are crawling across the fucking other side of the world to get to this big fucking ship. Who believes that fucking story, for fuck's sake, Jesus?
It's a great conceptual idea, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe there was more than one Ark.
It's great for a movie. It's good for a movie. I've seen Russell Crowe in it. It was a good movie.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Maybe they had an Ark on each side of the world, on each side of the earth they had a separate Ark.
Don't complicate it now. They all can fit on Mount Ararat, Dave. Come on, Dave.
Now, when you sell a trophy, Lee, what do you charge for like the Iron Man?
I can't even remember. I just left it open to them. I just left it open to them to bid on it, and then half the money I gave to the RSPCA for the animals and stuff. So I just said whoever higher bidder was. So if the highest bidder was $50, it went for $50. I had no set amount on it, so whatever it was.
So it wasn't a lot. You didn't sell it for a lot of money, in other words.
No, not a lot. I think the most went. I think my Universe trophy went for 2,500, but
Oh wow.
I don't really. Yeah, all the other ones were just different prices. Somebody might have said 200, and somebody gave 120, 140. So I said, look, I said, look, in 5 days I'll cut this off. So whoever's got the highest bid in that day can have it. So.
Now you took a. We were talking before the show about Kenny Cale, who I just obviously had on the TV show. You had said, we talked a little bit about the fact that Kenny kind of went off on Larry Wheels and made it seem like Larry was an abuser, and then he had to go and do an apology video. What did you think about that?
His apology was pretty weak. I think he did his apology so Larry Wheels doesn't come and beat the fuck out of him, because I think Kenny KO was on the fucking #MeToo movement over the last week with all these Jeremy Buendia stories that he was on about. You know, talking about Jeremy, and then next we had Jeremy's good friend on, or ex-friend, and then we had Jeremy's ex-girlfriend on, and then the next episode we had the ex-girlfriend and the ex-friend on, and all they do is talk about how crazy this Jeremy is. It's like, I'm going to be laughing when Jeremy turns up at his door and fucking shoots the gun, because if someone's that unstable, he's going to show up, and now you're making fun of how he lost his sponsors and that's this and that. So it's like, if he's that unstable and he's losing his sponsors, he's going to come and shoot you. And then everyone will be like, oh, I wonder how that happened. I wonder what set him off. You know, it's like, so it's just like, Kenny, you're a reporter for the silly bodybuilding industry that you just go call people out on Photoshop pictures. You're not fucking Sherlock Holmes. Let the fucking cops do their job, okay? You're not out there trying to fucking crack this case, for fuck's sake. But I do notice, Dave, people are very upset with you because you're meant to be a roving reporter, and every comment I see sometimes on our show is, why don't you talk about Aaron Singerman? Why don't you talk about
why do people want me to fucking bash Aaron Singerman? I feel bad for Aaron Singerman.
I think they just want you to talk about the truth about what's happened, to give your side. It's like, I think you're hiding Aaron Singerman in your fucking attic like Ian Frank because he's a Jew, aren't you? Is he up in your ceiling?
Yeah, I have him in my attic.
In your ceiling up there.
Yeah, I have him in my attic with
the diary of Aaron Singerman's going to come out. It's like part 2 to Ian Frank.
I have him and Elvis are up there too. I think Elvis is in my attic as well. No one knows what's going on. The case hasn't been settled yet. I don't know what's going on with Aaron.
Oh, no one's going on with Sean Rowan, but everyone's fucking talking about poor Sean.
Well, you know what here's the difference. The difference is that,
one's black, one's white.
No, that's not true.
Come on.
There's a violent crime versus a non-violent crime. I think that anyone could have got caught up. I think
selling drugs is very violent because drugs kill people on the streets. It makes people die. It's a very violent crime. Just because you're the pusher, Dave, drugs still kill. So
that's right.
We can't say the pusher's not a bad person.
He's
the instigator.
No, I think that the shocker is also that he's Mr. Olympia. I think had Aaron been Mr. Olympia...
Yeah, but the thing I find with Sean is, I know how you said it's like, people take the side of the accuser sometimes and the girls thing, but well, it's like I said in one of my posts, I said, look, we're all Sean's friend, and, it's sad that the girl has accused him of it and this has happened, but until proven guilty, I'm still going to be Sean's friend and side with Sean, because the Sean I know, I don't think would do that. If he's proven guilty, then I'm going to be shocked and disappointed. But up until that point, they've proven that to me. I'm going to, not actually side with him, but I'd support him all the way up until that trial, where you see people too scared to say, yes, we'll support him, or too scared to say this just in case he's guilty. But until he's guilty, he's innocent to me. So, and if he was found guilty, like I said, I'd be very disappointed. It's like the whole Titus thing. I was his friend up until we found out he's a murderer. Then it's like, well, he's a bit crazy now, Craig. But, I just support him up until then, because it seems like, if you're in that situation and you have all these friends and all of a sudden they're all jumping back from you, I'd be thinking, fuck, you've known me all these years. You know what I'm like. I wouldn't do that. So, I think people should give him the benefit of doubt rather than just go, well, this is a terrible thing that happened and she's accusing him. Because I think ever since the #MeToo movement came out, people are too scared to side with the guy saying you're supporting a rapist. No, he's accused, yes, and he might have had the arrest thing put out, but he's still innocent till proven guilty. So I'll support him up until the point, whatever happens to the end.
Well, I think that's the right way to look. If you're a friend of someone's, even if they did something terrible, you still got to be there for them. If you remember, and I brought this up in my last interview, when OJ was arrested, his friends, a lot of them deserted him, but there was a couple, AC Cowling, he remained OJ's, very close friend because, he had a relationship with OJ.
Because he knew where the other glove was.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it might have been his glove the other, for all we know. But
he was holding that back gate open when OJ.
Yeah, probably. But it's a tough. The whole scenario is very tough because you don't know who to back or who not to back, and as reporters.
But even like I said, when the Olympia, okay, I can understand a little bit that they don't want to have him on the Olympia stage, but while this is going on, some sports people have kept playing, some they get rid of him, but up until then, he's still Mr. Olympia. He's still the Sean we all know. The people that run the Olympia, they know him as that good, nice guy, Sean, Mr. Olympia, that trains and has been nice to them. You should let him compete. And then later on, okay, a year from now, if he's found guilty, you then say, well, shit, we're very disappointed. We're going to strip his title or whatever. But they're almost making out like we don't want nothing to do with him now because, well, he could be guilty, which he could be. But up until then, give him the benefit of the doubt. You're almost saying he is. That's why you're dumping him.
Would you think that he would have been allowed to win the Olympia with these charges pending, even if he was able to do the Olympia?
Mate, we've got convicted felons on the Olympia stage. We've got all types of people up there. So
right, but do you think he would have won the show, even if he deserved it?
Well, I think if he came in super shredded, it'd be hard, it'd look bad for the IFBB because if he looked like he should have won and they didn't give it to him, that just makes the IFBB look like sour
exactly.
grapes.
But that's why they didn't let him. That's why they took him out of the show, I think, because they felt that what if he does deserve to win and he wins and then he's found guilty?
Then he should be. Well, then that's down the track though. But up until that point, he's innocent, so he's still Mr. Olympia to that point.
I understand. It's a public relations nightmare, is what it is. So. But he's going around telling people that he's going to be doing the Olympia now. He's training, he said, for the Olympia.
I saw a video come up of him at Gold's Gym the other day that he was prepping for that. So who knows? They might have evidence to prove that she's lying and he's just going ahead full steam.
Well, that's what he's claiming. I mean, that's what I'm hearing behind the scenes.
Out of spite, then I'll be like, fuck it, I'm not doing the Olympia now. He's going to whoop me now. I'm not doing it.
Well, that's what the rumors that are going around are, but I don't believe it, until I see it. Obviously, I hope he does. I hope he has a million text messages that can completely, corroborate his story.
And then I always feel bad too. Like what happens? Like there was those guys. I think the college kids that got accused that time and actually did jail time from that girl that accused them of rape. Remember? And then she came out a few years later. I think they did like 4 years in prison.
Oh, right.
And then she came out and said she made it all up. So if this was the case and just say she was lying and he couldn't do the Olympia, can he then turn around and sue her for lost earnings and stuff like that? Because it pretty much ruined his bit of his career there by accusing him.
Of course he could. Yeah, absolutely. Assuming they have money. It's a rough.
Her husband probably does. She does.
Yeah. This is a really, really crazy case because it's not cut and dry. It's not. Yes, he did it. We don't know. No one knows. Only the two of them know what went on in that hotel room behind closed doors, and that's.
I think it's pretty cut and dry because it wasn't wet because there were lacerations involved. I did read the report today.
Lee, fortes.
What? Too soon? Too soon. Should have. Remember, guys. KY can be your best friend.
Too soon.
Keep it fresh. Wrap it up. So what were we on about? We're talking about Kenny, weren't we?
Yeah, we were talking about Kenny. What? Now, a couple of people asked me to ask you what's going on with your neck. They want to know the neck update.
Nothing really. I just still going to the chiropractor. I haven't even heard from the attorneys lately. They sent me a letter saying we're on to something else about. I think they were going against one of the reports from one of the doctors, and I just wrote back there. When they send you those emails, it's all in fucking legal terms, 6 pages long, and I'm like 2-4 with, therefore. I don't know what the fuck's all that mean. Just put it in English for me. So I just wrote back saying, look, all I know is I was training fine. There was no pre-existing neck thing. Yes, I had a neck scan or a shoulder scan, and they scanned my neck. This is why they think I had a pre-existing neck injury because remember when I tore my shoulder tendon?
Yeah.
About a couple of weeks before the accident, I was a little bit sore, so I said I better go just get a check to make sure it's not tearing again. So when they scanned this, they scanned all the back into the trapezius as well just to see. And they're like, well, you had your neck scanned a couple of weeks before. I said, yeah, but it was for my shoulder. They just did the whole area. And then when they did that, they with the neck scan a couple of weeks before, it just showed normal wear and tear, a little protrusion. And the doctor even said, for all the years you've been training, your neck's in pretty good shape.
Right.
Now, after the accident, they did my neck again. Now it shows the nerve all crushed. So they're saying, well, we do admit the accident did crush the nerve, but we think there was a pre-existing problem with your neck beforehand. I'm like, there wasn't. I said, in all the years I've trained, I've had elbow, knee, shoulder. I said, I've never once had a neck problem. So, and everyone probably over the years, the way you sit, whatever you do, you probably have a little bit of disc wear and tear just from normal day life. But they're still trying to go on that fact that because I had my neck scanned a couple of weeks before that there was a problem. I said, look, all I know is up until that day of the accident, that morning I trained fine. From the day of the accident on, I've never trained properly since. And then they still throw out the whole, well, you go to the gym, you're training now. I said, well, training I can do. It's nothing like I used to do. I'm going light. I have to go lighter on one side. And you have to understand, even if I could train light on both sides the same weight, training is not my job. It's part of my job, but main job was competing.
Right.
And if one side is smaller than the other, I can't compete because you don't have symmetry and balance and shit. I said, I'm judged on stage posing, not in the gym lifting weights. So.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, well, you have a good point because that's your living. So that your livelihood was was taken away from you. So there's definitely damages that will need to be paid there. It's a shame because I know you really. It's funny. You're the most motivated I've ever seen you to compete again, and yet you can't. Isn't that always the when you actually were healthy, you were like, I don't care if I compete or not.
Well, the thing is though, Dave, I can't really compete anyway. Apart from the neck, I still got a lifetime ban, for
Yeah, but you've been lifetime banned for how long already?
What was that lifetime ban for? Rape? No, it wasn't rape. Was it murder? No, it wasn't murder. Was it selling drugs? No, it wasn't that. I know what it was. I made extra money competing somewhere else.
But Lee, you've been lifetime banned twice already, haven't you?
No, the first time, only once. I've had like a year ban here, a year ban there. I got my pro card in 93, and 94 I had my first suspension for a year. And then
What did you do in 94?
That was when I did a couple of shows, and they put on that first, they had the Houston Pro show.
Yeah.
And because I was only 20, I think I was still 21. I just got almost 20. I would have been 22 at the Olympia. And I was sponsored by Weeder. I'd done these first 3 shows, and the Houston show was mid-year, then the Olympia. So I went to see Joe saying, look, I'll be one of the youngest to ever do the Olympia. Rather than burn out and have to take all the gear right throughout the year, can I skip the Houston show? And Joe said, that would be a great idea. Don't do the show. So I didn't do it. Next thing I get a call from Wayne D'Amelia. I run these fucking shows, not Joe Weeder. You're suspended.
Oh, really? Are you kidding me?
Yeah. Yeah, so I got suspended for that.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, that was my first suspension.
Wow.
And then there's probably a couple more after that. And then
I think you got at least 2 more lifetime the bannings that they were undone.
I've had this is my first lifetime. It's carried on since the PDI one, because with the PDI one it was a year and then it went to 2 years, and then John and I used to do those shows, and then like I said, I found out I was banned for life when I was going overseas to do an appearance for an IFBB show in Sweden or somewhere, and they were told if I came over, they would lose their sanction of the show and their athletes would be suspended.
Oh, really? I think you're back in good standing. I think that they would let you compete again if you applied. Maybe they'd make you do the USA Championships or something.
The North Americans.
Yeah.
Now, the thing is, I don't understand when you look at all the things that people get suspended for. Really competing elsewhere or speaking your mind is pretty subtle compared to convicted felons and shit that are still competing.
Yeah, it's a different level. You know what? Back in the good old days when nothing was going on and you being a big mouth got you suspended, it was no big deal. Nowadays, what you did is like no one even cares anymore. There's so many much bigger things going on.
If you were to go online, say you had a young boy there, 15, 14, he says, I want to be a bodybuilder, Dad. Let's Google some of these bodybuilders. Now, let's Google Kai Green. Woo! You're not going to the fruit shop today, son. Fucking hell. Or we go let's Google this person. Oh, look, he's been locked up for a long time. Let's even Google Dave Palumbo. What's he been up to over there? I think nearly everyone here cunts has seen the inside of a prison cell apart from me, and I'm the one that gets the lifetime ban. It's like I said, I'm 47 now. I haven't even been put over a speeding ticket my whole life. Bloody hell. Touch wood, I got to drive to Sydney. I might have just jinxed myself driving.
Anyway, well, you know, like they said, or like you said, or like I said, you know, you got a big mouth. You know, that's your problem.
I don't have a big mouth. I just ask questions and I just answer them. But remember, you know, the main instigator used to be our good mate Steve. Now, he used to always be privy to the IFBB because he was
do something controversial, Lee. Be controversial.
He's the one who used to call me up. Lee, I was just in a meeting with such and such and such and such. This is what's said. This is what's going on. Write something about it. Say something about it. Go on. So I do an article about it, and then next thing, Lee, why did you say that?
He forgot. He conveniently forgot that he told you to write about it, right?
And I'm thinking to myself, these people that are in the meeting with Steve, knowing Steve's there, and it's in his magazine, knowing I wasn't in the meeting, how the hell would I know this information? Didn't they see that the fucking mole was Steve from the fucking... Bloody hell. It's like...
They used to do the same thing to Romano, though. Yeah, John, write about Pecker, write about, you know, this one and that, and then he would get John in trouble. And then he'd be like, I don't know, I can't control him.
I know, but weren't these people smart enough to think, hey, Lee or John weren't privy to this information? Right. The only one was Steve.
Right, exactly.
Well, I remember back in the day, Steve used to be good. Because remember when MD was like, you know, it's probably its best time when it was really like this thick, almost thicker than the Bible. Yeah. It used to be like, he would never sponsor a show, and I'd ask him, why don't you sponsor shows? He goes, well, if I don't sponsor a show, I can stay impartial. We can say what we want. We can talk about the judging this way. But then when he started sponsoring contests and become... No, you better not say that. You can't say this. It's like, you know, nothing but praise once he started sponsoring all these contests. So then it just wasn't the same after that.
Yeah. He got all... Because you know what? He actually started to believe that he was important. I think that was the problem. And when he really was impartial, that's when the magazine was in its, you know, heyday, I think that's he lost sight of that. You know, he didn't need to actually kiss anyone's ass. He could have just stayed on the sidelines and watched him. But he wanted to be in the press pit with, you know, with the top guys.
He started all those positive affirmations. I am a somebody. I can be good. My mother said.
He wanted to see the glute. He wanted to see the glutes up close. You know, Lee. So
it's just proof positive that fucking your parents lie to you, Steve. It's simple as that. Just because they say you're going to be good and going to be great, it doesn't mean anything. But yes, but Kenny KO, he's very interesting, I must say. If he turns up dead in the next month, I wouldn't be surprised one little bit if Jeremy's outside his door stalking him. And then, but then we have, but to me right now it seems a contest between Kenny KO and Nick's Strength of Power. They almost look alike. Have we ever seen them in the same room together? That's what I want to know.
Oh, you think they may be like the same person?
Yeah, I think Kenny wears the hat, and then when he takes the hat off, it's like Superman and his glasses. He becomes Nick's Strength of Power.
I'll tell you one thing, they both got a very, very popular YouTube channels, that's for sure. They're doing something right over there.
Oh, you know, you just sit there and talk, people gather on. But, you know, sometimes when you're at these expos, have you ever noticed the crowd that follows them? It looks like, you know, the fucking bar from Star Wars. There's some fucking weirdos in amongst that crowd, let me tell you. At least if I have fans that follow me, like, they look a bit normal. Yeah, mentally they might be fucking nuts and crazy and covered in tattoos, but they look somewhat normal. It's like I said, it looks like with their crowd, when you see them lined up, it's fucking hell. It's like, we got the day off from work today. What do you do for a living? Hold on. I do stamps. Oh, I take the staples out. Oh, where's my stapler? I love my stapler.
You're going to hell. You're going to hell. I'm telling you right now. Hell in a handbag.
Kenny KO's on. Fix the internet. Saw you here coming from the basement. And that's not making fun of. That's not making fun of retarded people. You can't say retarded, can you? That's not making fun of special people, handicapped. What do you mean they call them these days? Okay, now.
You can't. Oh, you know what? Did you know that? I don't know. Have you been following the whole Janae Marie Croc story? Do you know who she is?
Who?
Janae Marie Croc, who used to be known as Matt Croc.
I did see a picture come up the other day about someone competing again, a transgender competing.
Yeah, well, Matt Croc was a top powerlifter. He was a bodybuilder. He became Janae Marie Croc. I had him on the show a few times, or her on the show a few times. And now she wants to compete in bodybuilding, but obviously she's not, I mean, she could try to pull the whole, I'll compete in women's bodybuilding, but she knows better than that. She's still technically a man. So she's competing in the men's bodybuilding. And there's a picture on her Instagram of her hitting the most muscular shot.
So what was the point of becoming a woman if you're going to compete in the men's?
I guess she wants to compete, and she realizes that it's not fair to compete with the women, so she's going to compete with the men. But, you know, she's got her face done. Her face looked good. I mean, she had a lot of plastic surgery done.
The picture I saw, I think one came up yesterday somewhere, and it almost, I said, looked like a dude. But now it's like, if you're going to compete with the men and you're making yourself look like a man again, what was the whole point of becoming a woman?
Well, I think she considers herself gender fluid. Is that what they're calling themselves now? She can go back and forth?
Non-binary. Well, it's non-binary. Non-binary don't associate with anything, do they? They're just...
No, I think she's sexual, but she's fluid. Gender fluid, meaning that she can go back and forth.
She's what? Cum?
No, gender fluid. Fluid, meaning that she can float back and forth.
I got fluid that cum. I'm a male. That's my gender. My fluid is cum. So what do you want to be? I don't know. If I can jizz. Competing under the name of Spoof today, we have such and such. Come on out.
She's a pharmacist. I had her on the show. She actually will go into work, I guess, as a woman, but then I guess maybe when she goes to the gym, she dresses as, I don't know what she dresses as. But
she's what, a pharmacist?
Yeah.
Oh, how many bodybuilding friends does she have?
It's a good job to have, right, when you're a bodybuilder.
Oh yeah, there's something going on there. You ever notice? Well, I think you mentioned it once before when you're talking about, I think with John, it used to be about all the people were getting all different drugs, and they always used to have the AIDS patients as friends to get their growth hormones and shit. But I remember at Gold's Gym when there used to be like a real doctor at the gym. You'd see that doctor at the firehouse, and how many fucking bodybuilders would be having lunch with that fucking doctor?
I know, yeah. Well, back in your day, you could actually get a real prescription and go into the pharmacy and fill it,
Exactly. Even in Australia, you used to be able to do it, and the police didn't care as long as it was for personal use. And at least you knew you were getting stuff made for humans, not made for fucking the cow out in the paddock and stuff like that. So it was a lot better for people, I guess, if they were going to take it. But people these days don't care. And people asking me questions the other day, and the shit they're asking me in the different compounds I've never heard of in my fucking life. It's like shit like WD-40. It's like, like what the fuck?
Now let me ask you a question. A friend of mine said that he was in Vegas the other day. And he got picked up. He did Uber on his phone app, and the Uber came and there was no driver. It was a driverless car. Would you get into a driverless car if it came to pick you up?
No.
You wouldn't.
Did they? It's like they're still. I remember seeing on the news a few of those still crash and go off the rails. And who knows? I've seen those. I've seen those movies where people can hack into them and you don't know where you're going. So
It's kind of scary, right?
Oh yeah, I feel sorry for a few people. I've picked up a few people that thought they were in a driverless car because they sort of hit them over the head and put them in the boot, or in the trunk in America, as you'd say. So they thought they were in a driverless car. They didn't know where they were going. So no, but you wouldn't. Would you hop in? That'd be like they were even mentioning sometimes about those the flying Ubers. It's like, who's going to hop in one of those? It's like, people can't drive. I don't want them flying around above us now, and shit goes wrong and they come crashing down. And they were talking about planes. Well, really now planes are so much automated. Once they take off and put them on autopilot, they pretty much fly themselves. The pilot's there just to watch over it and stuff and pretty much take off and land the thing. So apart from that, the plane flies automatically. So.
Right.
But now still, it's even like in all the years now since cruise control has been out, I've never once used cruise control because I just prefer to feel the pedal under my foot and control the speed of the car myself.
Right.
It's the same as these cars now that can brake automatically, or my friend's got one of those cars that self-parks. I still wouldn't like that. It just feels like you're not in control, just sitting there. And really, how lazy are you if you can't park your fucking car? It's like when these lazy cunts come out when you go somewhere and you go to your mate's house and you go in the bathroom to clean your teeth, and what do they got? A fucking electric toothbrush. Don't tell me you all got one, Dave, for God's sakes, because
I got one.
When did doing this become so fucking, I haven't got time to do this. Hold on. Oh, this is so much better. My arm was getting so fucking tired doing this.
You get a better cleaning on your teeth with an electric toothbrush.
Bullshit.
Why do you think the dentist uses an electric?
They bullshit, because that's just, they can pay $20-$30 for this instead of $2 for one of these. They make more money, then you got to buy fucking batteries and you got to recharge it and pay more money for things. Like, we've become a a nation of lazy cunts because this is too hard now and this sort of stuff. And now, when I get home, I don't want to go to the wall and go, I want to go, Siri, lights on, lights off, play my favourite song, put on Channel 4. I'm too fucking busy to pick up the remote control and do shit anymore. I'm just a lazy cunt.
That's right.
I want everything done for me. It's like the world's becoming soft and lazy, for fuck's sake.
Yep.
Now we've got cars that drive themselves. Everything's voice activated. Everything's this. Remember when you used to go on the computer and you'd push the on button and go, you'd have to wait for the dial up. And you'd be online, and all of a sudden the phone rings. Oh, fuck, you lose your internet connection. Now it's like people go online, if it's not a second, oh, this is fucking slow, this is slow. I'm calling up fucking AT&T. Yeah, this is taking longer than a second. What the fuck's going on? It's like, people these days
you're
are
just
so
getting
fucking
old.
impatient.
You sound like an old guy complaining about, new technology.
No, I sound like a guy with fucking common sense because everyone's getting fucked up and lazy. They're too busy bitching about shit. It's like my mates, you'll probably got those mates too that send you a text. I'll be in a fucking movie, a text comes in, I won't answer it because I'm watching a movie, I've got something going on. By the time I come out of the movie, they're almost in tears. Have I done something wrong? You haven't answered me. Why haven't you replied to my text? Because I have a fucking life, you cunt. I'm fucking busy doing something. I'm not sitting here waiting, watching the movie. Oh, I hope Barry texts us. I hope he texts me soon. I've got to fucking reply straight away if he does. Oh, there is Barry. Hi, how you going? It's like people just want things instantly. Back in the day, you'd fucking leave your house and you get that fucking thing off the wall with the big cord on it. You'd stretch it around the corner and have a private phone call because that was your mobile phone. And you leave a message. Hi, Dave, I'm going to the gym at 5 and then I'll be going to Firehouse at 12. If you want to meet me there, I'll see you there. And then you go out all day and when you get back home, you go to this machine and push a button, play. Hi, Lee, this is Dave. Sorry I couldn't meet you there today. I was busy. We just ran our lives properly. We didn't fucking worry about what everyone else was doing and shit. And then come the old pager. Remember that? The drug dealers loved them in Venice. The little fucking pager would go off a number. Quick, let me get to the payphone in Gold's Gym and call this number.
You said you didn't want to talk on the payphones because those were tapped, right?
Oh, yeah, people would be saying that, remember? If you hear a clicking noise, they're listening in.
I was so paranoid, clicking noise.
It's just my friends do that now with their fucking cell phone sometimes when it goes all tinny, echoey. Oh, Lee, I'll call you back on another phone. I think they're listening. I'm like, what the fuck? It's like, when it becomes echoey and stuff, that means they're listening.
Yeah.
Or maybe it just means their companies have got a shit fucking line still. So, I know, but people these days want everything so instantly and overnight and right now. And just like, calm down, people. Slow the fuck up and enjoy life.
Yeah.
Stop and smell the roses, people. But not smell them too hard because sometimes a dog could shit in the garden. That's my advice.
Lee, you're on a...
It's like, that actually reminds me, so this is how my brain thinks when I think of smelling roses and a dog shits in a garden. It reminds me when you used to go to your grandparents' house and your grandparents would take a shit. And for some reason, your grandparents are cheap. They buy that cheapest toilet spray that doesn't even cover the smell. It just, you know what I'm talking about. The toilet spray just mixes in. So now when I walk in there, it doesn't smell like a fucking forest of evergreen. It smells like someone shit in the fucking forest of evergreen because the smells just fucking mixed together. It's fucking terrible. You know what I'm talking about? That's like the cheapest spray, no name brand, fucking forest nature. Yeah, it smells like every animal just fucking shit in the forest. They just mixed in. It doesn't cover it, and they spray more and more. I don't know why the grandparents poo-poo really stunk. I don't think they had enough fibre in their diet. But that's true. But now they've got all this new stuff that's meant to Airwick. Airwick's meant to kill the odours and stuff like that. We've got this stuff here in Australia called VI Poo. It's these drops of liquid you drop in the toilet. Yeah. It's meant to keep the smell in the toilet.
Does it?
It's like, fuck.
Does it work?
I don't know. You just do a courtesy flush, but you know.
Yeah.
I when you go to those public toilets in the supermarkets, you hear some fucking noises coming out.
How about at bodybuilding shows?
Look, I've never even...
Bodybuilding shows, I've heard some of the nastiest noises coming out in those stalls.
But I didn't get to... You ever notice people that there's no shame in some guys? If you had a urinal, guys would be just pissing and... Why they're fucking pissing? It's like, how fucking rude. It's like, at least hold that in. You know, he used to be notorious for that, was good friend, you know, Sonny Schmidt. He was a shocker. He'd actually stand on stage beside you, and all of a sudden you'll start laughing, and all of a sudden this fucking awful smell would come across the stage. And when you'd be standing there trying to pose, you'd be like, and you fart, and you think, oh, fuck, well, I got a pose now, but I don't want to take a deep breath, otherwise I'm going to taste what you just fucking ate. It's like, fucking hell. You'd be smirking and laughing and go, sorry, but it's like he was deliberately doing it, I think, just to try and put us off on stage. And when people were dieting for contests, some of those fucking farts were fucking deadly.
Oh, brutal.
You could cut them with a knife. Like, they just fucking lingered there. You'd be walking on stage, you'd fucking run into it like an invisible wall. You're like, fuck.
Who stunk the worst backstage at the Olympia that you can remember?
Who stunk? I don't know, because the cunts would never admit to it. They'd be pumping up and shit, and you'd be like, oh, let me go over there and grab them dumbbells. Oh, fucking hell. It's like, what the fuck was that? It's like my fucking tan started melting, my fucking eyes were watering. It was like, look, I've peeled a lot of onions in my life, but this shit was worse than fucking onions. It's like a combination of tuna, onions, garlic, and fucking turd all in one. And then he fucking Steve Blackman walked by, I'd smell turd with fucking ammonia on top. It had like this fucking, jizz smell fucking going by.
For Steve, that was like perfume, probably,
No, that was like a fucking, you see those commercials on TV with that body spray and the women go chasing the men?
Yeah.
If fucking Steve was backstage smelling farts, he's like, ooh.
It was like an aphrodisiac for him.
That's definitely from Ronnie's Ripped Glutes, that one. I can smell by how sharp it is. Oh, Ronnie. You've got me. You had me at hello. Once again, this show goes into the toilet, Dave.
I'm actually... I'm getting a headache from laughing too much. All right. Lee, go do your interviews for the day. Lee's just getting warmed up. It's only like 5 in the morning over there in Australia.
I know. See, the earlier you get me up, the more dumb I am.
I like it. Yeah, I like it.
I think that's what it is, because look, at 4 o'clock I'm laying like this, and then I get up to do the show, and I get up and 10 minutes later I'm doing the show. I think the blood's had enough time to circulate in my little brain I have. I'm like one of those whales. Isn't it like the whale that's like a big fucking whale, but it's only got a small brain? I think that's me. Once I use up too much space, the only thing that comes out is cunt.
Lee, thank you so much. There's no more ranting that we need to do for the day. You covered us for the next 7 days. I'm Dave Palumbo with Lee Priest for another installment of Iron Rage.